Hey guys, and welcome back to the final part of
the final DLC.
Yeah, of the final DLC for Dark Souls 2. Today we're going to go to the Frigid Outskirts. To be honest, we recommend you just don't do this.
Yeah,
it's definitely more frustration than it's worth.
The only reason you'd want to come here is to get either the Lois Greatsword or the Lois Shield. That's pretty much it.
Or the Ring of the Living if you wanted to get rid of the tint, but...
Oh yeah, true.
I don't agree with that ring in general for the most part because it gives up an entire fucking ring slot just to remove something that could be patched out.
Yeah, exactly. Or it could be an item that you just use.
Yeah, so starting off, the second bonfire in Ilium Lois, the abandoned dwelling, and we're going to head to this bridge here because that's where we came across this earlier, the three draglings and the golem. That's where we'll be going. Now, we've already opened this door, but...
So we're going to be speeding up parts of this video just for your sake.
Yeah, because there's a lot of time wasted waiting around in this section. Because the way it works is you get about maybe 15 seconds of clear skies and then you get about 2 minutes of fucking snowstorm.
Well, not 2 minutes, but
it's
you know
what I mean,
it's long enough. It feels like an age.
It's definitely a lot longer blind than it is.
Okay, so when you come out here, we're going to try and orient ourselves from this exact angle. So you're just came out the coffin and you're looking down into it. Now, what would be southwest is progress, and there is like a circle of gravestones.
Kind of like Stonehenge.
Yeah, so
essentially.
That is progress, but there's a couple items, small, there you go, that is southwest, and that is where you'd want to be going from here. But we'll get
there are some items. So there's an item at the top of this coffin, and then there is an item basically when you spawned facing the coffin, if you go to your right. Yeah. So follow the trail of these like broken down boats, and you'll find the blackweed inside that.
Yeah, and then you just follow the boats coffins back to the original one, get in the same position, and then head southwest from here.
Yeah, this is of course if you're blind, so like we can see right now, so it looks stupid, but if you're blind, this is what it looks like.
Yeah, and assuming that the coffin that you came in is pointing north.
Yeah. So there are two summons for this area. There's Abyss Fever, and there's also Head of Vengar, but we haven't done Vengar's questline on this character, so he's not a summon here currently.
Yeah.
And then Scholar of the First Sin, there's a third summon.
So what you want to do is you want to put yourself where we were and aim for this building when you see it in the clearing. And then just run straight for it.
Yep, don't touch your camera at all, just run straight for that building. Now the hardest part of this is making sure that you don't touch your camera, because if you do, it can mess it, because there's no like landmarks other than these buildings, so you can get lost pretty easily.
Yeah.
So we picked up Dried Root, which is essentially useless, and this is the Marah Hat. Now the difference between this one and the one that you get in the regular game is that this one doesn't have the face mask, it's just the Gravy Boat.
So we're going to put our back to this wall, and you should see that when the sky's clear in a second, you will see a dark patch or a little black dot, and that is where the next item is. Now you can see a building to our right or slightly right of that. Now we're going to go to the item here.
And then try and remember where the building is, and then turn the camera for that.
Now from here it's about northeast. Now we just missed that item. There is an item to pick up there, but we died and we just reset the thing. So
we reset. So that item was on that body next to the Dragling. That was Lacerating Knives, I believe.
Yeah, now from that body, you want to try and go about northeast-ish and try and avoid this fucking this reindeer as much as possible.
Basically, if you get worried about, like, if you think you've travelled way too far and you haven't run into the building yet, just dodge the deer until the snow passes, and then look around. Now, we should mention what these fucking deer drop. Apparently, for white phantoms, they drop the Bone Fist.
One thing I want to mention though is if you are running just in a straight line from that item, once the first clearing hits, you should be right next to this building, so it should amount to be pretty good. If you're just running straight from that one body, you should be okay, so long as once the first clearing comes, look for the building and head straight to it.
Now, these deer also never lose aggro, by the way, so when you get a chance to, make sure you take them out.
Yeah, now with this boss killer setup, which is of course the Rapier,
Leo Ring, Flynn's Ring, Ring of Blades, and Third Dragon Ring.
Yeah, what you can do, two-hand Rapier, attack its arse, it'll do the kick. And
two attacks at most, guys, because if you go attack, you have enough time to roll to the side to avoid the mule kick, and then you can finish it from the side.
Yeah, so from that roll to the side, attack, and that will kill the reindeer, so that is the sort of quote-unquote easy way of taking care of them.
Now that is a Faris contraption there that we just showed you because we've got plenty of Faris stones left because it's the last guide video we're making for this game. So that's just one of those healing pool ones. The water heals you and cures poison. So I mean, you can use that when you're fighting the reindeer, I guess. No. So what I'm doing here is this body's quite off in the distance towards the next place. So I'm trying to put the item between myself and the
next building.
The next building. But as you can see, a deer decides to fuck up my plans. It still works out. But
you can use these bodies' orientation to sort of see where to go. Now, if you get confused, you can see where the body's head is. Hence, what you want to do is run towards the body's left side, essentially, and that is...
Right side.
But not the body's left side, like the body itself.
It's face down.
Oh, right, okay.
So it's the you want to run... You basically want to run across its back so that the body is like sort of...
Yeah.
The head...
Basically, if the head will be on the left, you want to run forward from the head being on the left, and that should take you to the next building. You can use the orientation of the bodies to try and adjust what way you're going to be running. Now,
I recommend at this point, by the way, because this reindeer's peppering the shit out of me, I'm just going to use my Estus for this section. This next bit is ridiculously annoying because I had to deal with 2 reindeer, and there's an ice golem in the corner too who has the fucking lance, so that's a real walk in the park.
Now we're going to speed this bit up because it took a long time.
Yep, so I recommend just going through your Estus. Try not to obviously run out of Estus if you can help it, but if you do run out, it's not too bad because the boss fight does give you quite a good bit of time to heal with this setup.
Yeah. Now,
so you're okay.
As this is easily the hardest, most bullshit boss in the entirety of the Souls series, we can assume that this is the boss that you'd want to be using your Divine Blessings for.
No, it's not the hardest boss, I don't think.
I would say
it's the most annoying boss. But it is, I don't think it's the hardest. It's just stupid. So as you can see there, I dodged the mule kick again.
Yeah.
But that's just out of practice. 2 hits and then dodge again. And what was the other 2 items that those reindeer dropped again? Because I know it was the Bone Fist if you're a white phantom, and there was 2 other ones. Bring up the page.
No, that was 2 human energy there, and they can also drop.
You need to scroll up. They can drop petrified dragon bones and old radiant life gems.
Yeah.
Which is actually, because I ran out of Estus, I'm going to be using my radiant life gems and old radiant life gems. Now I'm just trying to get my bearings here, but the side that we went in, basically, if you go through that door, just go straight out the other door and that takes you to the boss. But we're going to wait for the snow to clear so that you guys can see what we do. Now, we want to go slightly to the right when we exit this door in front of us because we're going to go get the Ring of the Living, which is to the right side of the giant canyon where the boss is. Yeah,
so if you run straight from this door, this will obviously take you to the boss, but you'll see it from... The fog will clear slightly, and as Stephen said, you'll see a bit of a canyon, but we will get the Ring of the Living first, so if you run straight ahead and then you just follow right along the canyon, that'll take you to the boss.
Yeah,
but that'll take you to the ring.
Be careful of the the reindeer too, because they have that charge which can knock you on your ass. So just, you need to be careful as well of, like, obviously the gravity. So I look to my left, I see that's the slope to the boss, so that's the wrong way, and the Ring of the Living is on the right, so I need to double back a little bit, pick this up, and then I'm going to go back the way I came slightly.
Yeah. So maybe if you just follow the edge back the way again.
Now what I'm doing here is I'm getting onto this little slope down on the right because it stops other deer spawning when the snow pops up, which means I just need to deal with this one deer and then I can go to the boss. These guys are annoying because they just keep spawning. They never lose aggro. They will chase you all the way to the boss fog.
They are literally the only enemies in the game that I can think of, and especially the most annoying ones, that don't despawn. They will just continuously spawn. So, apparently they do despawn if you kill them enough, but frankly
they're on I think they're on a cooldown.
Yeah, if you're
the annoying thing.
If you're using our techniques and stuff, then you should just be able to run past it. This was obviously a little bit harder, and we have to deal with the enemies simply because we're trying to pick up the items. If we're just running past them, that's all we'll be doing, running past them. You know the route how to get there, we've just shown you, so you can just run straight past them and head straight for the boss.
Yes, just go from building to building, and then when you get to the last one, just run straight ahead essentially. Once you go through the door on the left side of the building, and go straight out the other one and just keep going that way. That'll take you to the boss. Now if you're in NG Plus or beyond, by the way, between the final building and the boss there will be extra enemies there. What are they called again? What's the name of them?
Exiled Braves.
Yeah, Exiled Braves. So there'll be one in Faram's set and there'll be one who's wearing the King's set. They get the chance to drop the Faram set, the Archdrake helmet, and they can also drop Twilight Herb. But of course, once again, those only spawn up in NG Plus onwards and beyond. I think you might get one in NG. I'm not sure. We didn't run into him, and I'd rather not.
Now, we put on the rest of our boss killer setups. That's us got the rapier, a shield, bright bug, a resin. We're going to use charcoal resin because apparently that's what the most
according to the wiki, and I'd believe it because I've done a shit with the damage here. So activate my bright bug when I get into the boss room because I know I have time to do this. So as soon as I step in, bright bug, then run behind it and then just get some hits in. but obviously it dodges, so I'm just going to go pro as fuck and not get touched at all, and look at the damage.
Now, this is without a doubt the easiest way of killing these guys.
Oh, 100%.
Now, it does involve you being good with Ava. Basically, fighting one of these guys is like fighting a slightly weaker Ava, but because there's two of them, that's an issue.
Well, there's 2.5 technically, because the second one gets half its health back.
However, if you have summons, the other one will spawn in quicker, which is why this boss killer setup gives you enough time to kill the first one before the second one comes in.
Generally, the second one comes in when the first one gets to about 30 to 40% health. But when you have a summon, it's at about just above half health that the second one comes in. But with the boss killer setup, we do a shitload of damage. Like 3 pokes takes off more than half health if we get the Leo ring counters, which we more than definitely will for the most part, because I'm timing my attacks to get the Leo ring counters. So I'm pretty happy that we managed to do this that quickly. But yeah, do it solo and bring the health of one down. Try and kill it in your last burst. Try and kill it. So at this point, it's activated its regen ability. Now what you're going to witness is its health is going to regenerate very quickly. Now basically it's going to regenerate about half of its total HP, so it starts that at about 30% and it won't stop until it hits about 70 to 80% of its health.
And it's buffed.
And it does more damage and takes slightly less damage as well, so you need to be a little more careful. As you're going to see, it's definitely dealing more damage, and I'm lucky I took that. I took the thingies at that point.
Now, like I said, this boss, you know, feel free to use all your like bullshit healing mechanics, because this is a bullshit boss. So
if you die to this boss, you have to go through 2 loading screens, and you have to go through the run to the boss again, because there is no checkpoint right before the boss, which is it's like the only area where there isn't a checkpoint before the boss, and it's a ridiculously fucking frustrating area. So
who gives a fuck about using cheap tactics? Now, if you find this boss hard with your particular build, we highly suggest just use a fucking soul vessel into this just to do it, if that is what you want to do.
If you want an even easier time, don't soul vessel into this build. Soul vessel into 40 dexterity so that you get as much damage into rapier. Make sure you still only have the low enough vitality for flinge ring though. But just basically copy our build, but take points out of something and put it all into dexterity.
Make sure you've got enough adaptability as well. Be light, avoid the attacks, get as much damage out with the rapier boss killer setup as possible, and you should have a fairly easy time.
Yeah, so last thing to really speak about with Lud Zallen is the souls. One soul gives you the Lois shield, one soul gives you the Lois greatsword. The shield's good, HP regen. Lois greatsword is it's probably the best greatsword if you put time into using it. It has a really good moveset, a lot of Leo ring proc as well if you're into that sort of stuff. It's really good, but that about does it for probably the most annoying area in Dark Souls 2 overall, just because of the amount of bullshit that's in it.
Yeah, so if it really comes to it and you guys want us to do it, I suppose we'll do the Hex or Dark Covenant guide. Can't remember what it's called, like the Dark.
The Pilgrims of the Darkness.
Yeah.
Those ones would be really short. It'd be like fucking 5 minutes per.
Do one video for the full thing.
It'd be 5 minutes per chasm, apart from the last one where we'd have to fight Dark Looker, and I'd probably beat him first try as well.
Yeah. So if you want us to do it, we'll do it. But if you
want us to do that, because that's pretty simple as well. It's just taking on some Black Phantoms and lighting a couple of cauldrons.
We've stayed away from Covenants for this game simply because none of the Covenants really require
PvE that much, other than Champions Covenant, and
they don't really require anywhere near as much explanation as Dark Souls 1 Covenants do.
Yeah, it's pretty simple.
But if you want us to do it, we'll do it. But
I don't mind doing Pilgrims of the Dark because of the boss at the end of it, and I really like Dark Looker. He's a really good boss.
And hopefully this guide has helped you guys out. We wanted to make sure that this guide would essentially make Frigid Outskirts as easy as possible. Tell us if we helped you or not, and I guess we'll see you in...
Well, we'll see you guys in the next video.
Yeah, the next guide, I suppose.
See ya.
This may be the last one for a while.
Yeah, it might be. Maybe we'll do a Metal Gear Solid online guide.
Oh,
how to get 1000 bounty.
Anyway, we'll see you guys in the next video.
Yeah, see you later guys.
Bye.